Welcome back to Dinar Trend Tracker channel. The things you is going to say has something to do with an sudden development that has been making the rounds across the world's currencies for a long time in a circle. Following a lengthy time packed amid speculation, assertions without evidence, as well as continuing conjecture, fresh data is showing signs that could indicate a potential fundamental changes in the realm of systems. All of these stories revolve on the purportedly engaging specialized authorized financial institutions, often called Tier 4B codes first linked to personal transactions currency-related occurrences, like the Vietnamese dong and Iraqi dinar. Once these facts have been verified, they may indicate a significant improvement during the much-anticipated review that a large number of people all throughout the globe have closely followed. This advancement while waiting for official approval seems dissimilar to a large number of old warnings that have not been verified. Our duty is to let's get into the reports and see what these purported technological upgrades suggest, and the reasons why we are getting close to more focus than in the past episodes. If this is your first time in the meeting, or an experienced spectator of worldwide monetary transactions, the evidence that has been referenced implies that significantly increased rate of motion earlier today. There has been obvious growth in statements made by those asserting familiarity with financial network members go closer to including Tier 4B codes onto the international financial and banking grid. The widespread belief is that this network is a component of a wide-ranging global currency initiative for modernization. Over the course of several years, several sources have discussed the possibility of growth, but the most important change at this point is affirmation of measurable system level in place of verbal assurance. As part of corporate banking specific context, these permission keys are seen as the last internal signal, the necessary approval for redemption hubs and money companies to launch their own currency conversions for those who have holders. Not having the verified data from this system of encrypted codes does not activate. After they turn on, according to reports, the procedure for exchanging starts to move, enabling liquidity to flow. The operation in question gives an explanation for the present flurry of reports is evoking such strong responses in a variety of online communities and private groups. Notifications, images, and by murmured affirmations are making the rounds, each implying that a substantial technological barrier has been overcome underlying monetary and banking systems. It has focus on observable changes in the back end instead of promising has drawn extensive attention. Those who doubt the narratives of reevaluation are recognizing this extraordinary concordance in the accounts the use of sophisticated monetary systems. To comprehend the gravity of this claimed situation, it's helpful to go back to the framework typically cited in debates over the world's money make changes. In most cases, Tiers 1 and 2 include agreements reached between government agencies and important organizations. Level 3 is associated with bigger private organizations that relief or development monies. Tier the category that is most important to regular people who own money. At the time when affirmed that the codes are in effect, typically denote Tier 4B, the stage many people have been waiting for years. Assuming these reliable reports are believed to be trustworthy, they suggest that crucial indications for operations currently has been validated and released. The role that Vietnam plays in the higher-level view. As of late, the banking system and government of Vietnam powers that be have improved openness, protected areas, and created online platforms that are in sync with worldwide rules and laws. Historically significant as a small amount of money, is progressively being moved within a bigger driving force for Southeast Asian modernity. Vietnam reportedly coordinating its digital monetary system with substantial worldwide platforms, reveal that an additional key element of the worldwide, it's a conundrum. Assuming the dongs are ready to engage with a larger audience and incorporated important compliance processes, and subsequently, a shift in approach in terms of worth. It is consistent with a transformation strategy. A large number of people as holders, America is still around center of the physical transaction process. Most privately held payment plans are anticipated to be implemented. Banking institutions in the United States. Banks said to be reserved for these discussions are defined as running silent readiness exercises and releasing major software patches. There have been assertions that Tier 4B codes assumed imply that these primary systems have been linked to the essential worldwide avenues for authorization. Quite a few define this stage as the point in time when servers interconnected in the banking system at last start talking again after all these years in advance. The rising enthusiasm in different online communities is not just about suspected prices. However, when considering transformation within the technical, a solid foundation that might achieve those rates feasible. This is for the die-hard fans out there. Emotional change is a technological one. Significant. Yet another striking aspect is involved with screens within the bank. Regardless of these are not accessible to the public. Software. A small percentage of workers have reported financial instruments, such as the dinar and the dong, presented in a new way. As an alternative to nevertheless, every single one of these reported actions situated within a broader worldwide discussion of moving forward financial arrangements, supported by assets. Major business moguls have been explored the necessity of tying currency rates to things like gold or keys that are physically present goods, making for more stable and confidence. Tiebreaker for Tier 4B activities in the implementation of this system, the consequences go much beyond the realm of finance exchanges. It might stand for preliminary proof of a substantial operational impact transition to value-backed worldwide monetary theory. Regardless, the larger platform cannot be validated. It is clear that a lot of nations have boosted the stock of gold and set up brand new avenues for bilateral trade, typically linked to asset-based models of money. In the case of routine people who have kept tabs on these evolutions, the present time suggests that long periods of waiting might soon be ending resolution. Opponents of these values of currencies over extended doubters have held the belief that substantial transformation would ultimately take place. Reports of active codes are now available, and across the body, the protracted wait seems to be reaching its peak chapter. But during this time of high expectation necessitates prudence as well. Through the ages, intense speculating enticed con artists. Just keep in mind fundamental principle. Real financial institutions, such as reward centers, will always refrain from asking sensitive data, funds, or upfront payment. The source of all communications must be authorized, encrypted routes. When deploying tendencies mirror conventional forecasts, the Tier 4B activation is then preceded by encrypted message or scheduled meeting directions conveyed to those who have registered. In this context, communications would mean appointment scheduling, policies, and criteria for authentication. People who eventually show up at their designated meetings to verify the legitimacy of money, finish documents, and get your hands on that cash. The procedure usually starts at the regional level and grows across the country, playing out in structured phases instead of immediately. Given the current state of the rollout, potentially subsequent public exchanges later on. When it comes to the details, these alleged advancements bring with them emotional importance to a good number of people. The customer and dong tails have long been a symbol of optimism for reorganization of funds, individual release, and fresh starts. Decades of global communities have been formed via the process of waiting, who provide updates and words of encouragement every day. Tier 4B phrase codes are now active, is becoming a focal place for support. It makes no difference to the precision of every detail, the feeling of togetherness and expectation within. There is no mistaking these groups. Their determination in the face of extended delays could perhaps receive realistic results. What a big currency would do review may cover a wide range of topics. People who own it. A dramatic increase in the price of a Vietnamese dong or Iraqi dinar. By investing in dong, both economies would benefit, bring in capital from outside sources, and finance efforts to promote national development. It has the potential to result in enhanced building, employment opportunities, and more secure financial futures for both all throughout the world. This change could restore harmony to trade relations and promote deeper and more fair financial alliance. Initially started as a retail investment story, may develop into a more expansive changes in the economy impacting in the millions. Concurrently, there is a movement towards more openness is growing. World's leading financial institutions and governments are utilizing more transparent auditing procedures, safe transactions, digital tracking platforms. The larger shift towards being seen helps establish the reliability of any major change in the money supply. Since the movement of funds may be independently confirmed and confidence increases, backed by assets, it has fundamentally supports the modern economic models under consideration, incorporating honesty into each and every one of world's framework. No one disputes the fact that worldwide in the financial sector is embracing responsibility as well as candor. As we wrap up this examination, the key point is to remain steady, keep your cool, put your trust in trustworthy background data. Radical changes in the financial sector tend to happen gradually over time. They take place in distinct stages. Should the findings of if the activation details for Tier 4B are correct, the focus has changed from guesswork to actual analysis to the transfer of operations. The astute method is to arrange individual records, follow up with solely authorized notices, and refrain from taking any measures on the basis of speculation that may cause mistakes. Patience has proven to be frequently a complex's most important asset financial event. Proceed with due diligence in being ready for whatever is to follow. In conclusion, scale of the current situation, it is beneficial to note how the indicators are lined together. When everything else failed, crucial parts seem to be moving in time with one another. The financial foundation of Iraq appears complete. Internet use in Vietnam, it is said that the infrastructure is in sync. Moreover, the vital Tier 4B codes currently are supposedly involved in financial services system. From an economic perspective, the execution of a plan have hoped for some time. This may on the brink of a financial crisis ancient past. Within this time frame, the launch of a brand new age characterized by openness, stability supported by assets, and new possibilities. During the next few days might lay the groundwork, possibly constituting a section that examiners and scholars will study for years to come. Iraqi Dinar Newsine is pleased to have you back. A major sequence will be discussed today. List events stemming from the Iraqi conflict directly concerned with the country's money and fiscal policy. New evidence suggests that smaller units of Iraqi dinar currency are first spreading across the country. A noteworthy incident, considering it has been operational for the Iraqi economy most often with significant denomination currency for a long period. Given the of these lesser bills signifies a tangible shift in the country's economic landscape. Clearly, this is not a small matter. Change, an essential part of a more extensive systemic monetary reform approach proposed by the banks. The Iraq War. The results of this course of action, people are watching it closely because influences the regular workings of the Iraqi economy and signifies a new section of its budget plan. The specific information included in these reports that fresh denominations and bills, for example, 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100 dinar prices are being handed out. These more compact, it is believed that bills are being monitored at financial institutions in the area, and are given out by automated bank machines or ATMs. This represents a significant functional transition from the current standard, when the primary bills being utilized the 500 million, 10,000, and 25,000 that have been amounts in dinar. The implementation of cash in smaller, easier-to-handle size-related activities, revolutionizing the way regular financial purchases are made. Process seems to be a deliberate attempt to broaden the currencies open to everyone, progressing beyond the big bills that have traditionally been the standard for business and financial planning. A related procedure is also underway at the same time is said to be happening regarding the more substantial forms. At its core, the Iraqi bank is allegedly engaged in eliminating some of the previous high-voltage currency notes that are currently in use. People are not referring to this as an unexpected or disorganized cancellation, nevertheless, instead of being a strictly regulated and slow eradication. These two processes, bringing in the little and bringing back the substantial, is the primary method of the change in currency that is presently being witnessed. This is a part of a concerted effort to alter the components that make up the actual money making their way through the Iraqi economy, adjusting it so that it fits with a contemporary monetary system that has been debated for a length time. The system that allows for this Iraq's internal transition comprises people taking part actively. A number of Iraqi citizens are allegedly being motivated to use their more senior, bigger value notes to regional financial institutions. They have the opportunity to trade the significant sums for the distributed lesser amounts, Its method is being offered as an easy design to substitute for the current cash on hand with fresh banknotes better suited for regular business transaction. This program of exchange is vital for planting the new bill seeds in the economy while methodically recovering the previous a number of. It forms an integral aspect of the strategizes to guarantee the startup the basis for the currency is smoothly implemented through the populace at large and the economic framework. The main basis for allowed for this all-encompassing overhaul is based on common sense. The future dependence on colossal notes like the Dinar bill of 25,000 can grow substantially burdensome for routine daily use purchases. If a currencies be modified by utilizing such a notes with a high voltage for little activities, such as grocery shopping or expense for transportation, would be incredibly not feasible. Introducing more compact payments is a necessary condition for a money that works for everyone in the business world. Looking back, the issuing smaller amounts is the process by which countries get ready for money to make it more practical and resilience in the face of adversity, suggesting a prioritize the enhancement of the currency's home practicality. This change is being placed with great care within a plan for monetary reform in the long run, rather than a short-term fix. It is intended to boost consumer spending and overall Iraqi dinar's practicality in a distinct boundary. Through handling things in a steady progression, the high-ranking officials work to forestall disturbances every day's financial sector. People who live in the country are supposedly being given precise schedules and detailed directions on the best way to take part in the trade, guaranteeing that moving away from big notes to brief remarks is structured. Its systematic approach is meant to inspire faith in government and ensure that the reorganized monetary system is smoothly incorporated without resulting any cause for concern or confusion among the army of combatants. The people in charge bigger groups, especially the banknotes of 500 million, 10,000, and 25,000 dinar. It appears from the reports that these bills are not being null and void or cancelled. We are being very explicit about the procedure, as part of a progressive reduction from regular Iraqi internal circulation. In other words, the future, as their prevalence declines in stores and marketplaces in the area, they do not face immediate rejection. This differentiation is an essential aspect of the data being communicated, highlighting that this shift pertains to the shape of the money utilized in commerce, rather than in suddenly erasing its legally acknowledged standing throughout this period of transition. An important difference considering the notes that were around the world. Through the exchange program, individuals take big bills to the bank, classed as a home-based effort for the people of Iraq. According to the findings that this process of local phase-out does not include people or businesses storing these bigger bills away from the Iraq War. The reason this split is noteworthy is that it suggests two distinct settings for the payment methods: transactionally useful use inside Iraq, and its position as a located beyond Iraq. The goal of the domestic swap is to resolve a regional usability problem instead of discussing the current state of the notes that are in a foreign country. Based on what we know so far, the worth of these bigger bills that are held by foreign entities is unaffected by the program for Iraqis to exchange internally. The important point about these notes is that connected to the money that is displayed on the worldwide arena, and the information it exchanges a rate that is separate from the currency's practicality for use in the home. The retiring big-ticket items on a regional level is with the goal of making the money more controllable for the ordinary Iraqi citizen. Therefore, bigger notes that are held on a global scale are considered to hold on to their abilities just as their standing is connected to more extensive adjustments, like a possible being reclassified, or having the value of the money on international markets instead of the trade in local logistics. The full endeavor is also having the backing of specific measures implemented in Iraq's monetary system. This goes beyond just printing fresh invoices. It calls for a comprehensive current state. According to previous reports, automated teller machines on a national scale are being changed its settings. The process of reprogramming crucial for the machines to notice, retain and distribute the fresh more manageable amounts. Without this, a necessary maneuver to guarantee that the general population the new currency was widely available. Bringing the country's ATM network up to date is an obvious outward manifestation of one's introducing the new money system. Structure is progressing through the design phase from planning to actual implementation. Besides financial institutions and automated teller machines, it is also said that the change is taking longer entering the business world. Merchants, while small company owners in the area are being schooled and instructed in the proper handling of the recently formed SECs. Part of this is getting a feel for pricing services and products in the less installments and oversee money transfers by recent invoices. Making this change is critical. For the change to take hold on a daily basis, trade occurs when the money's all features are well tested. Some claim that the government is also involved, a direct part in getting the new notes out there, starting to pay a portion of public sector compensation utilizing the lesser denominations that facilitates their organic introduction. Economic system. The planning is going underway at a steady pace within the country. Additionally, the report's present engagement in global financial scene. Some argue that big international financial organizations, among which major financial institutions situated in the United States, are involved in as they revise their internal system of currencies. These revisions are expertise requiring recentering of databases and software to support novel standards or principles connected to the Iraqi dining establishment, commonly known as the IQD. It is crucial to get ready for these financial institutions to handle transactions without a hitch, when the global reputation of Dinar has changed. Called preparedness drive by portrayed as a global financial institution evidence of alignment. Performing such system-wide updates is no easy task. Both time and resources are needed for them, making it seem as though these organizations are being ready for the unknown in terms of operations with relation to the currency of Iraq. It has coordination of regional initiatives within Iraq, as well as undertaking technical planning through international banks, is brought to light as proof that the change is being handled with great care. Preparation of this kind would aim to guarantee consistency and prompt availability for worldwide is converted into any other currency framework has been formally put into place, avoiding problems with technology or setbacks throughout the world's monetary system. Further, Iraq's central bank has formally acknowledged its promise, creating a foundation for contemporary currencies. Its approach incorporates multiple essential components, such as the introduction of fresh, cheaper dollar bills and a coordinated endeavor to lessen the Iranian economy's dependency on the U.S. currency for domestic trade. A dollar value has been extensively employed in home undertakings, and the CBI has declared its purpose is to fortify the dinar in its role as the widely used in local transactions. Incorporating this change with the updated notes is involved in a broader movement towards more independence and security of the currency. To back up this updated structure, reportedly, there is support for currency adjustments of physical property. These updated notes and how strong and where the currency is believed to have originated from Iraq's a substantial amount of financial. It includes its enormous profits from oil and considerable reserves of foreign currency. In cases where a currency is supported by such strong resources, it offers a more robust underpinnings of its worth. This support is an essential part of the change because its goal is to establish a dependable and steady value that can be converted into actual purchase influence at home and abroad over the world, expanding beyond its status before. The slow yet steady rise of the whole thing is always emphasized. The big reduction in taking notes takes time. By providing transparent timeframes to take their old currency notes to banks, officials are making efforts to forestall any upheaval to regular life or business. This gradual and steady execution lets the government central bank oversee the supply of currency efficiently. Furthermore, it gives the public a vital opportunity to battles for education, guaranteeing that people have a firm grasp of the latest with other faiths and trust that the change, thereby avoiding misunderstanding, frightens some. The purpose of this public school system element has a critical role in the function remove it. According to reports, the government places of business, financial institutions, and getting guidance on managing a new form of money. In the case of wages and other deals are being tweaked more and more in harmony with the lowercase notes, that the general population gets used to a novel approach. This systematic acclimation aids in guaranteeing a seamless transition. It further supports the uniqueness for outside spectators. Even as Iraqis adjust to this updated practical guidelines, current bigger bills kept overseas autonomous, but linked to the larger financial change in emphasis from regional to local logistical adjustment. Yet another noteworthy change announced in the midst of these monetary shifts is a change to Iraq's foreign trade practices. Some argue that the selling of oil as well as other substantial worldwide agreements are being carried out in the instead than depending on the Iraqi dinar, purely in terms of the American dollar. Yes, it is a dramatic change in policy. When you start using its principal export using its own currency, Iraq is making concerted efforts to enhance the dinar's position in international politics and lessen its persistent reliance on money from other countries for its most important business operation. The course of this strait helps achieve the objective of making a greater, on a global scale officially sanctioned money. At the time when all the reported acts are shown at once, a complete image becomes apparent. A mix of internal changes such creating modest-sized currency and amassing substantial those that have real-world applications, such as getting merchants trained and modernizing ATMs, is significant. In the presence of additional plans including multinational financial institutions modernizing their infrastructure as well as Iraq making use of the restaurant to sell oil, indications indicate a planned and attempt to ensure system-wide readiness. It has Iraq is being suggested as an aligned meticulously getting ready for a more contemporary given an operational monetary system, both as well as its residents and for its place in the world's economic system. For people who have been keeping tabs on the Iraqi dinar status for a long period of time, these situations are very significant. For quite some time now, debates concerning changes were mostly theoretical. Having said that, the reports outlined here things that can be seen and touched. The visual characteristics of newly issued smaller notes while methodically gathering all of the greater ones indicate a distinct change from conversation all the way to execution. It has points to the fact that Iraq is now proceeding with its financial system, consolidating the essential elements for the next stage of its monetary system. Differentiation is crucial. That occur in tandem with one another in the country of Iraq. This center on practicality, making the change to smaller information is crucial for a domestic market, enabling individuals to carry out routine tasks without hiccups. Making this regional change just requires essential requirements for global logistics holders. There is a change in setting. When they broader notes are not encompassed by this internal currency exchange. Recent advances important for them are the more extensive shifts in the monetary system's worldwide esteem and acknowledgement that this reform within the country is a prerequisite. At its heart, this is the news. The Iraq's central bank is currently carrying out its program to overhaul its currency. This strategy calls for the replacement of the big currency notes that have been widely used the market with less cumbersome, more realistic bills. This is more than just a reprint. However, an approach with the purpose of maximizing everyday practicality of the money. It has at the local level, transition is essential. Prior to the implementation of any more extensive modifications to the dinars, the value system might be successfully completed. The careful preparation that comes from ATM upgrades for use in classrooms highlights the gravity of the situation transition. Additionally, this stage is being bolstered by the previously announced changes to worldwide financial networks. According to the findings of worldwide banks, the database's calibration to come up with fresh criteria for the dinar are an essential component. All of this grunt effort is crucial to guarantee that in the event that the currency's standing fluctuates globally world's financial markets, everything is in place to manage complete without a hitch. The coordinating in Iraq on a local level and global partners' preparations indicate an extensive level of preparation for a peaceful change. Therefore, decommissioning of the massive information in Iraq along with the concurrent launch of more compact bills emphasizes that the nation is striving to achieve a more practical, with the current monetary system. With each stage coming from training vendors from software upgrades in New York exhibits methodical planning. How well these regional and preparedness for global engagement is a robust evidence suggesting that a new Iraq's monetary era is being consistently built, suggesting an effortless change after the changes are completely carried out. To elaborate, the main point based on these findings, Iraq is embarking on a fresh and pivotal chapter of handling of cash. The debut of less substantial dinar notes is the result of this transformation. Increasing in size gradually eliminate notes from regional distribution and in terms of networks, both internal and external to nations, have united to face a fresh framework. It appears that there is a substantial progress in terms of finances. It has presents a watershed point in the country's financial narrative, while the nation strives to establish the groundwork for a more robust, functional money that is both regionally cross-cultural and globally recognized.